Last full practice went good. Part of it outside, part of it inside. Any questions? Good, good. All season, we've talked to them about, hey, you're gonna, get used to it. You're going to play in bigger games, and this obviously the schedule. A week ago there was a bonus. This schedule was very routine driven.
Sean, if you are able to get JD Downs back, what kind of boost could that potentially be?
I wouldn't discuss, any of the hypotheticals.
When you have a team that is as young as yours but has a strong sense of maturity to it, how has that made it easier for you and your staff?
I think, look, ultimately, all these teams, these four teams playing, they begin to, they lead themselves. There's veteran presence. There's a combination of young players. Each team, the dynamic's different, but you can't point to one game, but there's a real good mix of veteran leadership and young leadership.
Sean, how is a game impacted, if at all, due to when it's really cold weather like it would be outside?
I think it's impacted more by rain. Really cold is relative. We played a game in Philadelphia. It was a wild card game. It was supposed to be 0, and Breeze had done all the research, and man, everyone had these scuba suits, and it was 28. There was no wind, and I had put one on, and when we came off the field after warm-ups, I had to cut it off. So we deal with the elements, though, and we're used to playing in cold weather here. We're used to playing in nice weather. I think it's relative when you talk about like Cincinnati Bengal playoff cold, which I think was the all-time coldest game in our history. We'll be prepared for that.
Was there thought about maybe practicing outside because of
We did a bunch outside. Yeah. You guys just weren't around. We haven't dotted, but yeah, I think so. And sometimes it's driven by the quarterback. For 14 years there was this team meeting, snack, and then the QBs would dot the plays, and Breeze. They'd all go in the room, and then Breeze would go through them. When he got hurt, we were talking about it. Teddy said to me, "Hey, can we dot the plays right after the meeting before the snack?" And I said, "You're the quarterback." Yeah. So that process will take place in the next 48 hours.
Sean, as you studied the Patriots, how did they go from back-to-back 4-13s to 15-30?
Let's start with great coaching. Mike does a great job, man, and they really, obviously, you have to hit on personnel, and then you have to hit on your QB, and they did that, and they drafted well, and they signed, and so you kind of have all these things, and then a great coaching staff, a veteran offensive coordinator, it's a myriad of things that took place that puts them where they're at. And we kind of went through a little similar type of thing. There's some parallels.
Sean, as a competitor, backup quarterback, the strangeness of the situation, they don't have a shred of tape on Jared. Do you kind of get?
They have a lot of tape. All right. It's not they're going to defend the offense. There's certain things, but you don't go to this whole different playbook, but there is plenty of tape. Finish your question.
Do you get kind of invigorated by that though?
Well, you always rise to a challenge. There's a competitive part to you that's important.
Sean, I know you've talked about turnovers, but when you weren't getting maybe as many as you would hope for, was anything specific you did late in the season to increase?
Well, we pulled that stat, and I've already talked about it, but it was the stat when the playoffs began in the last 25 years. What were the Super Bowl winners plus minus? And 24 of the 25 were plus. So we had one example, one team, it was -2 that won a Super Bowl. That's when the playoffs began. So currently we're +4. and then the significance of it in a game that's pretty quick, you know, and it's not a best of 5, or it's a 3-hour game that oftentimes these games can be lost, not won.
You guys talk a lot about needing to get calloused early in the year and all that. Obviously, Garrett hasn't touched it all. Would that actually be an advantage?
No, but I think let's talk the team being calloused is what's most important. And yeah, but you know, look, he's practicing, repping, and so when I say callous, though, battle tested, and yeah, I'm not listening. And I say this respectfully, and I told the team this. I said, I'm not worried about Steady in this game. I'm worried about everyone else, all right, and how we play, and that really is the truth.
How do you guys?
Couple more.
How do you guys, with Nucci and Brandon Johnson coming back, is it, this time of year, is that just a lot about familiarity and guys?
Yeah, and availability, and yep. Obviously, Ben's familiar, and when you need extra legs, it's great to see Brandon back. That number looked a little awkward. What was he in, 24 or something? Whatever. I hated when we changed that numbering system. But anyway, I'll take 2 more.
How do you guys think about just managing long-term health for Pat? Guys had 2 concussions in a month.
Yeah, and look, we remember the protocol is outside the building. His last one, they felt really good right away. We check the helmet. We upgrade the helmet if that's necessary. But he was asymptomatic the very next day. One more question.
Coach, you talked about in the Super Bowl how the first 15 minutes of the game feel like
I think the same thing. Yeah, I think the same thing takes place. You know, let's get to stuff that we do and know well, and you know, and see how this game's unfolded. All right, thank you.